What's up, guys? It's your boy, Barca Boy 103. Today we're going to be reacting to the Barcelona news over the past 48 hours. We do have a lot of topics to discuss. Firstly, the future of the pivot position. Xavi's pushing for Zubimendi, and the Barcelona board really like the profile of Amadou Onana. Of course, there's a few differentials there, but it depends, of course, on whether Xavi stays or not, on who we pursue. But again, these are the two main options right now in the pivot. And also, if Xavi stays, he apparently wants Bernardo Silva yet again. Apparently, Bernardo Silva wants to leave Man City this summer, and of course, Barcelona do have an exclusive release clause of 60 million euros, which they can't activate, of course, this summer. Alongside, this Portuguese, we're going to keep, of course, other Portuguese as well in the future of the Joaos. With Felix and Atletico Madrid have been speaking a lot in the media about his future. And with Cancelo, apparently Man City want around 50 million euros for him, but Barcelona only willing to offer 30 million euros. Now, we also have an update on the future of all these center backs at Barcelona. We're going to have 10 center backs going into the summer, and also have big updates on the loan players as well, like Alex Faye, holding Araujo, Ansu Fati, Paulo Torre, and their futures. And also a big update on Xavi's managerial status right now, where the players and the club are increasingly confident that Xavi's going to end up staying. But before we get into it, make sure you guys smash that like button down below. Let's try to get the 200 likes in this video. Be very much appreciated. Also, if you're new, make sure to subscribe down below if you haven't already. And let's get into it. Let's start off with the transfer news over the past 48 hours. First up, as we all know, the main target for Barcelona this summer is a pivot. This has been really much a very occurring theme as the first topic of the transfer videos, the latest rumors around Barcelona's acquisition to sign a CDM this summer. Now, Fabrizio Romano has come out saying that Xavi is a big fan of Martin Zubimendi, but in terms of the Barcelona board, they have not started talks to go for the player yet. Barcelona love different type of player for the pivot position, and Amadou Onana is one of those players. And Ramon is saying that, look, two different sides. Xavi likes Zubimendi, but the Barcelona board like Onana. Now, you know my thoughts on this. I've been very clear, whether the board is Joan Laporta, Victor Font, Tony Freya, me, or you, we should not have any say in the transfers. The manager / sporting director are the ones who pick the players that we sign. Joan Laporta should not be having his input. Oh, I like Joao Felix because, he's a great player and I really like him. Oh, I like Dani Olmo. Oh, this, all that. Does not mean we should be signing them. If Xavi or whoever the manager is does not give the green light, we should not be signing them by any means necessary. Now, Xavi is set to leave. We don't know if he's going to stay or not. Again, it's been thrown around all over the place of who we want. I will say this. If Xavi stays, 100% we go for Zubimendi. Because if the manager wants him, you go for him. With Amadou Onana, of course, the board are going to be looking at him because, again, the manager situation right now is very unknown as things currently stand. And again, I don't mind Onana. I do like the profile. He's kind of grown on me a little bit. I don't know, because he's been with Barcelona a lot. But I still think Martin Zubimendi, 100% the clear better favorite in my opinion. Of course, for who I would prefer to go for. Both at the same price as well. Everything I want around 50-60 million for Onana. I think Zubimendi has a 60 million euro release clause with Real Sociedad. So they're both valued at the same price, which won't really change too much. It's going to come down to, of course, will we actually pursue? Will we pursue Xavi's target in Zubimendi or Barcelona's target in Onana? But that's what the two differential points are as of this current moment. So wait and see how things turn out. Again, depends a lot on whether or not Xavi will stay. But if Xavi does stay, we could see Barcelona push and move for Zubimendi. If not, most likely the option will be Amadou Onana. Now, along with Martin Zubimendi, Barcelona have been linked with yet another Real Sociedad Spanish midfielder in Mikel Merino. Gabriel Sanz from Deportivo came out saying that Barcelona are paying attention to the situation right now of Mikel Merino. Now, if you don't know the situation, he has a contract that runs out in 2025 next summer. This year, he's going into the final year of his contract with Sociedad, and he does not plan on renewing, which means that Real Sociedad are going to have to sell him this summer to get the best value for the player, or they can keep him until he's going to be for free next summer. Now, in terms of the profile, look, I think Mikel Merino is a great player. We were looking with him a lot back in the day under Ronald Koeman. He was Ronald Koeman's first target to reinforce the midfield alongside Gini Wijnaldum as well. Good player. Doesn't make sense, of course. Our midfield's already overstocked, and also we have been linked with Alex Garcia. Now, Alex Garcia, in my opinion, is a better player. He's also cheaper, and he's also younger by 1 year as well. So this operation for me makes zero sense by any means whatsoever. But again, we're going to be looking with him because he's Spanish. He's alright. He plays in La Liga. Check Barcelona's name in there. I see him moving to maybe, a top 5 club, but it's going to be, of course, stature-wise. You know, your Villarreal's, your Betis, maybe even Athletic Club would be a good move for him. You know, moving from one Basque country club to the other. We could maybe see him move to the Premier League as well. But it looks like he will be on the move from Real Sociedad this summer, and Barcelona remain attentive. Now, if you thought that Mikel Merino signing would make no sense whatsoever, wait till you hear this one. We've yet again been linked with another midfielder, where I already just mentioned the Mikel Merino section. Our midfield is pretty overstocked right now. Bernardo Silva. Of course, this is all stemmed from the fact that Xavi, if he wants to stay, wants big player signings. Fernando Polo of Mundo Deportivo came out saying that Bernardo Silva is considering leaving Manchester City this summer, and he would love to join, of course, Barcelona. Xavi likes him a lot, and he has a special clause in his contract of 60 million euro release clause for Barcelona. Now the club must make the final decision on his signing. People close to Bernardo Silva suggest that he's edging closer towards the end of his chapter at Man City. He's always liked the potential move to Barcelona, and Xavi loves it as well, but this is something that Barcelona will have to decide. This died 2 years ago. Why are we still being linked with Bernardo Silva? Fantastic player, world class, would take him in a heartbeat at Barcelona, but not now. Not for 60 million euros, not for his age, not for the profile, and not for what the club needs right now. We need a pivot and a left winger. That is it, plain and simple. The blueprint is there. Why are we going and signing an attacking midfielder / right winger? Does not make sense whatsoever. Again, player's fantastic. If this is a free deal, maybe you can think about it for sure, but paying 60 million for Bernardo, would I rather have Onana for 60 million, Zubimendi for 60 million, basically any decent pivot or left winger for 60 million, makes no sense. If Xavi stays and he really wants him, we'll talk about it then, because right now it makes no sense whatsoever. Fantastic player, but he should have signed in that brilliant summer of 2022, not now. The ship has died. The ship has sailed beyond expectation. His age, of course, he's got maybe 1 or 2 years left in his prime. The price as well for his age makes no sense. Again, brilliant player, fantastic as a player. We'll take him at Barcelona 100%, but I think right now the stars do not align whatsoever. But if Xavi stays, maybe things can pick up. You just never know. But for now, again, the situation is there. Bernardo Silva might leave Man City. He wants to come to Barcelona. And like Fernando Polo said, he does not say that Barcelona's going to sign him. Oh, he's a target. But Barcelona have to make a decision. They have an exclusive release clause of 60 million euros for Bernardo. If they want him, they can get him easily, no problem. And if not, of course, they can definitely just pass him on. Now, one of the objectives, of course, for Barcelona this summer is to sign a left winger, and we've actually been linked with a decent and prominent and pure left winger in Khvicha Kvaratskhelia. There have been reports coming in from Italy suggesting that Barcelona has been in talks with Napoli over the last couple of weeks about Khvicha Kvaratskhelia. Now, the rumors are that Napoli are trying to renew his contract. Listen, I think Kvaratskhelia is a good player. I think this season he's definitely had a downfall from his last season when he was the Serie A Player of the Year and all that stuff. Of course, Kounde absolutely pocketed him twice in both legs in the Champions League round 16. Good player. My issue with Kvaratskhelia is the price. Apparently, Napoli won over 100 million euros. I wouldn't pay over 60 million for Khvicha Kvaratskhelia. I think his market value is at that point. Of course, doesn't have too many years left on his contract with Napoli. That's why Napoli want to renew him. I think he's not quite there yet for Barcelona. If he's the only left winger, I'll take him, of course. I think Rafael Leao is a better player. I think he'll be available for cheaper as well. I think Rafael Leao, AC Milan apparently will have him go for around 80 million. I'd rather pay 80 million for Rafael Leao than 80 million for Khvicha Kvaratskhelia. I'd rather actually pay 80 million for Rafael Leao than pay even 60 for Kvaratskhelia. That's just my point of view. I think the player is good, but just not quite at the Barcelona level, so to speak, especially what he's been doing this season. But you know what? At least we're being linked with a left winger who's actually, decent. I mean, that's something in my opinion. But the fact that there have been talks means that Barcelona has been interested. Of course, it's not just coming up now. We've been talking about Kvaratskhelia for the past few months, so I think there might be something in there. Whether it's going to be for this summer or next summer, you never know. But again, there's definitely something in between Barcelona and Kvaratskhelia. But I don't think anything will happen this summer. I think Napoli are going to ask for way too much. I think the profile-wise fits pretty well, but in terms of the price and how his form is currently, doesn't really add up in my personal opinion. But we'll wait and see how things turn out as Barcelona look to start talks over Khvicha Kvaratskhelia very soon. Now, before Barcelona really delve into their summer transfer targets, of course, they have to first sort out the situations and the futures of both Joao Cancelo and Joao Felix. We have an update on both. Firstly, on Joao Cancelo, Relevo, Alex Pentel from Relevo has come out saying that Manchester City expects around 40 to 50 million euros For Joao Cancelo, Barcelona is willing to offer 30 million euros for the player, but first Barcelona needs to return to the 1-1 rule in La Liga first in order to sign him. 30 million better be a package. If we're paying 30 million straight fee, it's not terrible, but I think we can get a way better deal for Joao Cancelo. We were talking, 2 months ago, 20 million euro as a package, the 15 fixed and like 5 or 6 or 7 in variables. I think Joao Cancelo is worth it. I think for 30 million, I wouldn't be too bothered with it. He's a world-class fullback, both at right back and at left back. The mentality is there. The passion is there for the club. His performances this season have been second to none as well. So for 30 million, I'm not too bothered by that. I hope we can maybe squeeze it into a package deal, maybe 20 fixed, 10 in variables, 25 fixed, 5 in variables. But first, Barcelona, of course, have to return to the 1-1 rule. So whether that be more revenue, player sales, of course, getting that money from Liberal Football Finance, Barcelona have to do that first, which of course they plan on doing before June the 30th, which they kind of have to, of course, to balance the books and end off the financial year as well in the world of football. But this is the current situation. Man City asked for around 40 to 50 million euros for them. To be honest, it's not that outlandish. I think Joao Cancelo, of course, like I already mentioned, world-class fullback, both at right back and at left back. No other player in the world can do that. So them asking for that kind of price, of course, makes sense. And Barcelona, of course, asking a little bit lower makes sense. So this is what we're looking at right now. I'd say probably around 30 million euros what Barcelona will end up paying as a total package, hopefully, for Joao Cancelo. But again, we cannot actually officially do it until we return to the 1-1 rule. Now, in terms of the future of Joao Felix, no actual news on negotiations and price and stuff. Just quotes coming in from both Felix himself and Atletico Madrid. Now, Felix is doing an interview with Gerardo Romeu of Gigantes, doing a lot of, asking about, he said that he wants to sign Bernardo Silva for Barcelona. I love Xavi, the youngsters are doing great. But he's asked about his future, of course, on signing for Barcelona, and Felix said this: the signing for Barcelona was on the last day. There was nothing planned. I had to go to the stadium in the morning to clear contractual issues that I had to re-sign with Atletico Madrid. Either I resigned or they wouldn't let me go to Barcelona. Let's see what will happen if I do end up staying at Barcelona. Many things can change, and it doesn't just depend on me. Now, of course, he's right. It depends on Barcelona and Atletico Madrid as well. But the player making it very, very clear that he wants to stay. Now, the Atletico Madrid president has also been speaking in the media as well. And he came out saying that Barcelona wants him and he wants them as well because everyone is happy. Felix is a magnificent player. He has fitted in them at Barcelona very well. He's doing very well. And we wish for him all the best of luck in the world. I don't know how much Atletico Madrid will get for him. You have to ask those from economics. I'm into sports only. So Atletico Madrid kind of glazing Barcelona a little bit, saying, oh, look, he's great, you want him, he wants to stay, everything is all rosy. I just really hope that Deco knows that he has all the power here. He can, grab Atletico by the balls and just twist and turn by any means necessary. Because Atletico Madrid want to get rid of him. He's on a lot of money. He's got a long-term contract as well. I think he renewed in the summer until 2029, something like that. Joao Felix is not going to return. During that Gerard Mirror interview, they asked him about going back to Atletico Madrid. He kind of laughed and said, you assholes and all that stuff. They don't want to be with each other, and we're kind of the only decent destination that Felix wants to go to, and Atletico Madrid are happy to do business with us. So we need to play very, very well. I'm hoping we can, get Felix by paying little to no money. I'm thinking, 20 million, chucking Inigo Martinez as well, do a little something. Oh, we're giving you Marcos Alonso as well. Stuff like that, where I just hope that for Felix and Cancelo, we don't spend combined more than 50 million euros fixed. And I mean, like this summer. If you want to do a package 60 million, so 30 million each, honestly isn't too bad either. I would say at the bare most, 60 million with variables and stuff all included. So I'm waiting to see how things turn out. I think it's going to be a very, very difficult operation, not as simple as things are being put right now from the media, from Felix and Atletico Madrid. We'll wait to see how things turn out. But again, definitely Barcelona have the upper hand in this deal. Let's discuss the players that have been rumored to leave Barcelona over the past 48 hours. You already know that right now that Marcos Alonso is going to leave for free, and most probably as well, Oriol Romeu is set to leave Barcelona this summer. Tony Marti from Sport has come out saying that Besiktas are still interested in Oriol Romeu, but the player prefers to stay in Spain, and Barcelona wants a way out for him this summer. I don't think Romeu will make his departure complicated whatsoever. It just not really depends on where he goes and how he goes. If he goes back to Girona, we include him into a deal for Alex Garcia. We send him to Villarreal for a fee. Apparently, Besiktas want Romeu, but they don't want to pay 3 million for him, which is what Barcelona want. Again, what we paid for him, just give it back to us in return, pretty much. So I think his exit will be fairly simple. It's just going to come down to how it's going to happen. We let him go for free. Let him go with including like a deal. I'd be shocked if we got any money for Romeu. I think if we do, that is a masterclass upon masterclass. I think honestly the best deal for Barcelona to exit Romeu is to include him in some sort of operation with Girona, whether it's going to be for Alex Garcia, maybe even Arnau Martinez if he's still relevant, just something like that where you can get the upper hand on Girona. Maybe say, okay, we'll give you Romeu for free in the future, give us a cut deal on a player that we want, something like that. So, I mean, we'll wait and see how things turn out, but most likely, of course, Romeu gonna leave Barcelona this summer. Hasn't worked out for him, but we always remember preseason Romeu. Now, one of the most interesting and most talked about positions at Barcelona at the moment is the absolute overhaul that we have in the center back department, which Barcelona have to make some key decisions about this summer. And right now we have a current idea of where Barcelona currently stand on each center back situation at the club. This is coming in from Gabriel Sanz of Mundo Deportivo, and he's come out saying that Barcelona are working to solve the problem of center back overbooking in the team. The club will do business with those players they don't count on: Christensen, Araujo, Kounde, Inigo, Cubarsi, Eric Garcia, Lenglet, Chadi Riad, Mika, Mármol, and Faye will be Barcelona center backs this summer, in the sense that they all have some sort of ties with the first team. 10 center backs, and we can only have 4, maybe 5 if you're pushing it. So let's talk now about their situations. Firstly, on Araujo wants to stay at the club, so Barcelona wanted to go. From Germany, they say that Bayern Munich have prepared an offer of 100 million euros for the player. It remains to be seen whether or not he renews or not. So again, Araujo wants to stay. Barcelona want to keep him. That's simple. Cubarsi has earned a place in the first team for next season. He's in the process of renewing his contract with €1 billion release clause. That's on track as well. So Cubarsi and Araujo, guaranteed. Jules Kounde. Kounde's continuation at the club is unknown. When talking about the need for a sale, all eyes are on him. Weeks ago, a PSG representative met with Barcelona to probe his situation. With the contract in force, his immediate future is not guaranteed. What in the... Oh, madre mia, joder. Listen, I get it. If you want to sell, Kounde makes sense. You have, again, we have 10 center backs. You need some money. He has some good value. I understand that. But Kounde is just so good, man. I mean, I'd rather sell Rafinha than Kounde. I'd rather sell, what's the other, decent? I'd rather sell Ferran Torres than Kounde. I'd rather sell Christensen than Kounde. I mean, the fact that his future is unknown for me is very, very annoying. I think that it should be Barcelona want to keep him, but if an offer comes in, it might change stuff. That, for me, is a good stance. But saying his future is unknown, that, we kind of want to sell him, I'm not really a big fan of that. Now, on Christensen, Barcelona want him to play as a center back and not as a pivot, despite taking a big step forward in that position. So again, his future being in the air a little bit. With Inigo Martinez doesn't plan to leave Barcelona. La Liga only compute a one-season contract, despite the fact that there was 2 plus another option as well. They will have to register him again, and the Barcelona player does not consider his departure from the club and has the approval of Barcelona. So again, Inigo wants to stay. Once he realizes that his position is going to be little to nothing, I think his situation will change. I think it's pretty much guaranteed at this point that Inigo Martinez is going to leave. I mean, he can stay all he wants. I think Barcelona have kind of promised him, yeah, if you end up staying, we'll pay you no matter what, whether you're registered or not. Stuff like that, but I think that he will definitely be leaving the club. It makes the most sense to get rid of him. Now for some of the loan players, Eric Garcia will return to Barcelona after his time at Girona on loan with a contract until 2026. His desire to return has already been spilled. Humors will have to get him again, but Barcelona will do high with the transfer fee as well. He's fine with Michel. He feels like a protagonist and is valued. So again, his situation a bit in the air. With Lenglet transfer to Aston Villa did not work out well. Unai Emery limited himself to making him play in the Conference League. At Barcelona, they are convinced that the English club will make a downward offer. They will sell him if they can. So Barcelona want to get rid of Lenglet no matter what. Another loan could be an option, or hopefully a sale. Mikel Faye is sure that if he does not get a place in the first team from next season, he plans to accept one of the offers from that he's received. Girona tried in the winter. Chelsea, United, Juventus, and Dortmund are also interested. So Mikel Faye wants to stay at Barcelona, but he's not a first team player next season. He will leave, which of course makes sense as we've been talking about over the past few videos. Mikel Mármol is a center back controlled by Barcelona, despite the fact that he belongs to Las Palmas. Barcelona has a 50% of a future sale, and Girona have him in the spotlight. So keep an eye on if Mikel Mármol makes a move from Las Palmas, because we get half of the transfer fee that he does go for. So if he sells for 20, we get 10. He sells for 100, we get 50. So keep your eyes on that. And finally, on Chadi Riad, who apparently we're going to buy back in January. Chadi Riad is playing with some regularity at Betis on loan with a mandatory purchase option for €3 million. His return to Barcelona is unthinkable today. There is, of course, a repurchase option for the future. So again with Chadi Riad, I think he's going to be one hell of a center back, but he won't come back to Barcelona. We were going to buy him, I think, in January because we wanted to sell Kounde, but now we can just instead of buying him, promote Mikel Faye, or maybe trust Eric Garcia, or whatever the case may be, since they're both doing very well in their respective, fields. Overall, on the center back department, I think it's pretty straightforward. Of course, Chadi Riad, no future at Barcelona. Mika, Mármol, same thing. Lenglet, same thing. Eric Garcia, Mikel Faye, I think those two are the ones that you can maybe consider if there is a sale. In regards to the sale, I think Inigo has to be the one. I mean, his age profile, his contract situation as well, makes the most sense. Christensen and Kounde for me is the big question. I honestly think that Barcelona might let one of them go. The question is who. I'd rather sell Christensen, and I'm just being completely honest. I love Christensen, great player, great professional, passing ability, able to play in the pivot and the center back position. Love him to bits. If I'm selling either Kounde or Christensen, if I had to pick, it's Christensen. I think Kounde is younger as well. I think he has a better value to our defense, and of course Christensen as well is pure profit because we bought him for free. So whatever we bring in terms of fair play margin, straight profit. With Kounde, there's still of course amortization as well with our transfer fee that we got him for, I think 50 million from Sevilla. But overall, we'll wait and see how things turn out this summer. But again, the center back position this summer is definitely one to watch, as there will be a lot, and I mean a lot, of movements. Now, something else to also keep an eye on for this summer is the players' futures that are returning from loan. We've already talked about a few of them, but we'll touch upon them again. This is coming in from Relevo. They've come out saying that Barcelona has 8 players on loan throughout Europe. Ansu Fati, Eric Garcia, Alex Faye, Chadi Riad, Serginho Dest, Clement Lenglet, Julian Araujo, and Pablo Torre. The club will have to make a decision with all of them in the coming months. Some of their futures are pretty much well known as things currently stand. For Alex Faye and Julian Araujo, they have options to return to Barcelona. With Faye, he's having an excellent season at Levante. Boyan has gone to watch him several times, and the reports are very positive. Marcos Alonso's departure leaves him with a very favorable situation to occupy that position together with Alejandro Balde for next season, but it's not the only option that the club have. So Alex Faye, very, very good chance of being the coverage and competition at left back for Alejandro Balde next season. The sports management also have Julian Araujo in the plans for the future. His progression at Las Palmas has been metric, and in Barcelona they have an eye on him that if he maintains the level, he could be part of the squad next year. It is expected that both Alex Faye and Julian Araujo will do preseason with the first team. That is of course 100% the correct decision. I think with Julian Araujo sorted out, he's going to be the right back for Barcelona. It'll be him and Cancelo. With Alex Faye, I think it's almost his. I think Sergio Cardona on a free transfer is towing the mind of Barcelona just a little bit, but I think there is a great chance that he will be the backup left back for Balde next season. On Serginho Dest, Serginho Dest is fixed with the PSV Eindhoven. They have a purchase option, of course, of around 10 million euros, and they could execute it given his performances. With Clement Lenglet, he also has a center stage since the beginning of the year at Aston Villa. Everything indicates that Barcelona will sell him in the summer. So both Dest and Lenglet not in Barcelona's plans whatsoever, and they will of course hopefully move on this summer. Pablo Torre. Now Pablo Torre doesn't seem to have a place at Barcelona. One of the two players now at Girona could enter the Alex Garcia operation, one of the wishes of Barcelona sports management, despite not being a priority. Again with Pablo Torre, no future at Barcelona, but the club do want to have a part in his future. So whether they sell him with a buyback option, sell him straight up potentially, sell him with a percent of a future sale, include him in a loan deal, include him in a player package deal. Very much a utility player for Barcelona with everything besides from staying at Barcelona. So we'll wait and see what they decide on that. But finally, of course, the big one. Ansu Fati. Ansu Fati left for Brighton in the hopes of exploding, but he has not achieved it so far. Ansu Fati wants to return to Barcelona. That's their intention, but the club doesn't assure him that his return will be next summer. So again, Barcelona thinking, look, is he going to be our left wing reinforcement? He could potentially be. But the reality is the season at Brighton he hasn't done well overall. He's not even getting in the bloody squad list for Brighton. I wonder what Deco came out saying that Ansu Fati was not in Brighton's squad list for their game against Brentford a few days ago. When asked, head coach Zerbi said, I decided that Ansu Fati and also Barco, who was the Argentina left mid, were not going to be in the match. I want them to work alone and improve their physical condition. So I don't know what the bloody hell is happening with Ansu Fati, man. It's so sad. I have so much stock in Ansu Fati. And he's just... I don't know, man. I don't know. His situation this summer is going to be very, very interesting. I will say this, though. I don't think the club will sell him. I think he'll either go back on loan, so it could be back to Brighton or maybe another side in La Liga, or he'll stay in the first team. That's my genuine prediction. We might sell him if we get a buyback option thrown in there, but apart from that, I don't think we will, straight sell Ansu Fati this summer. So we'll wait and see what happens with these loan players. I think the majority of them have their futures outside of Barcelona. Of course, Alex Valle, Julian Araujo, maybe in the first team. I would say maybe Ansu Fati in the first team, maybe alongside Eric Garcia, but Pablo Torre, Clement Lenglet, Serginho Dest, of course, Chadi Riad, far, far away from the first team. So wait and see how things turn out. But again, alongside the center back overhaul as well, you've got to keep an eye on the future of the loan players this summer as well. Let's discuss some of the injury updates around the first team at Barcelona. Of course, the only injury updates we do have are on Frenkie de Jong and Pedri. Now, Gabriel Sanz and Deportivo came out saying that the plan for Pedri and de Jong is that both midfielders will rejoin the group towards the end of the week, and their sights set on the trip to Paris at the beginning of next week. De Jong has the same chances as Pedri to get minutes at the Parc des Princes. De Jong has already hinted in the dressing room that he has good feelings and sees himself against Luis Enrique's team. Pedri, on the other hand, will be more cautious and doesn't want to push too hard. He will only return if he's 100% fit and wants to test himself. Now, following that as well, Ben Aïd confirmed that Barcelona does not want to take any risk whatsoever with Pedri. There is a lot of caution on his return. Now, later on today, there is going to be intense training session where the players will be facing each other in a match, which is going to be interesting to see how that partakes, so to speak. And everyone's going to be having, of course, one eye on Frenkie de Jong. Now, Tony Juan Martínez come out saying that in Thursday's training session, so 2 days ago, Frenkie de Jong was able to participate in part of the training session with the rest of his teammates, but the club chose not to announce it. Frenkie can be considered 99% recovered from his ankle sprain. So the club kept it really low key with the leak from the media, as of course it does in Barcelona. I think that Frenkie de Jong will get the medical green light for the PSG game. Whether he starts or not is a big question mark. I don't think Pedri's going to come back. I think Pedri, he might be in the squad list. He might travel to France, maybe just to train and stuff like that and keep the team harmony. I honestly don't. I think that Pedri will get the medical green light before El Clasico. That is my prediction. I said this before and I said it again. I think if he comes back before El Clasico, I'll be shocked. I think he'll come back afterwards. He could maybe be at the El Clasico game. I don't think he'll play in either PSG games. I don't think he'll play against Cadiz. It really depends on when he comes back. Again, this training session later on today will have the big indications. But Frenkie de Jong, I'm fairly confident, will get the medical green light for the match on Tuesday. Whether, again, he starts or not remains to be seen. But again, having these two players back, super, super important. But again, we'll wait and see how the sensations are over the course of the next few days. Let's discuss some of the news surrounding Barcelona over the past 48 hours. First up, some positive news in regards to Lamine Yamal's participation with Spain this summer. Lamine did an interview with Mundo Deportivo talking about his career, his rise, getting the number 10 shirt, all this random stuff which I don't really care about. But he did talk about, of course, what I do care about, his participation and his plan with the Spanish national team this summer. Lamine Yamal came out saying this: "It isn't logical to go to both the Olympics and the Euros, as it is about not being a burden and playing too much. So it wouldn't make sense. But obviously, in the end, you're playing for Spain. It's a dream. I think it's more important to be at the Euros." He was then asked, does the Pedri factor that would happen to him playing too much in 2021 influence your idea and what you have today? Lamine Yamal said, "It's an example of what can happen because he's the only one I remember doing it." So Lamine Yamal has the mindset that he doesn't really want to participate in both, but then again, it's Spain, it's playing for your country. Oh, if they call me up, things might change. But the fact that he has this mindset, very, very strong. Like I said a lot on the channel, depends on their participation. If Lamine Yamal and even Cubarsi, we're chucking Cubarsi in this conversation as well, if they go to Spain the Euros and they're not starters, they just stay on the bench the whole entire campaign, and then they go to the Olympics, I wouldn't be bothered by that. My only issue is that Lamine Yamal, who will be a starter for Spain this summer, playing every single group stage game, quarterfinals, semifinals, and final, whatever, and then goes to the Olympics. For the Olympic team, both Cubarsi and Lamine Yamal will 1,000,000,000% be a starter. Then, of course, them playing a significant amount of minutes there as well during the summer when they're supposed to be getting some rest and recuperation as well. That's where the problem comes in. Personally, with Cubarsi, I'm not too worried. I feel like he will get called up to Spain for the Euros. I don't think he'll play too much, and then, of course, go to the Olympics. Lamine Yamal, for me, is the main concern. The fact that he knows the Pedri influence, I think Pedri hopefully will talk to him as well, let him know his experience from 2021. I'm fairly confident that Lamine Yamal will not be overplayed this summer. I think he might go to both tournaments. I wouldn't be surprised, but hopefully he'll not be overplayed that much. But wait and see how things turn out. But again, for me, the most important thing is that his mentality and mindset is on the right path. Now, on the topic of young talents emerging at Barcelona, there is yet another one on the radar that could break into the first team by the end of this season, or maybe even into next season as well, and that is Guille Fernandez. Now, Gabriel Sanz from Deportivo has come out saying that Fernandez is considered one of the great talents of La Masia and has already participated in several training sessions with the first team under the guidance of Xavi Hernandez, who has been impressed by his play. He is slated to play with the senior team if he maintains his good progression. The club is excited about his talent and development and convinced that he is following the same path that has brought others to the first team. The hype and expectations for Guille Fernandez are absolutely outrageous. Of course, he is the youngest player ever to play for Barça Athletic. I think he beat Lamine Yamal's record by like 10 days or something like that. The hype around this kid is high. I've watched him play. I've seen clips of him. I mean, we just keep pumping out these talents like no tomorrow. This is why I'm genuinely contemplating the signing of Alex Garcia now this summer, because you have someone like Guille Fernandez. But again, he needs time, he needs recuperation, he needs nourishment as well. He can't just jump in straight away and be a coverage and competition for Pedri and Gavi. That's why I think signing Alex Garcia is still important. But bloody hell, this kid is on the rise beyond belief. And we'll wait and see. Maybe next season, God forbid, we have all these injuries and stuff like this in the first team. He might get his chance. I do hope to see him in the preseason as well. Hopefully, he'll be on that plane. Again, we do have a lot of players coming back from loan. A lot of players in the first team as well. The center back overhaul. So there might not be room for him too much. But hopefully, he's on that plane. He's a top talent in the midfield. Expect to see a lot of him over the course of the next few years. Now for some quick fire updates, firstly coming in from Catalonia Radio, suggesting that Barcelona expect to earn around 160 million euros from the rental of the VIP boxes of the new Camp Nou. This new Camp Nou, man, I'm seeing clips of it every day. I'm hearing news about it. I cannot be more excited, and I cannot wait to be in the inaugural match of the stadium when it fully opens in 2026. I'm paying and I'm diving into my bank account. I'm going to that freaking game. I don't care, and I cannot wait for it. But Barcelona has some big news recently around the club, which is the launch, of course, of BarcaOne, which is the new streaming platform. It's already been launched over the past few days. There's a free plan. There's also a paid plan where you can pay $2 a month to get ad-free. You get basically everything, all matches, exclusive documentaries, press conferences, all this stuff. Not really available in my country quite yet. Hopefully it is available soon, but the app looks fantastic. But again, it's kind of like Barca TV Plus that we saw 2 years ago, just kind of revamped and rebranded pretty much. It says for free now. It is free now. I'll tell you right now for free. They're going to start charging you for it. So make sure you enjoy it while it lasts. I guarantee you the free plan, they'll bump that up to maybe €5 a month. And then the €2 a month one, that'll be €10 a month. Just so you know, remove the ads and stuff like that. It will not be free forever. They're giving you matches and documentaries and high level analysis. They ain't gonna give you that for free very long. They want to give it to you now for free for a few months, get you excited, get you liking it. Oh, it's only €2 a month, not that big a deal. You pay it. Oh, it's only €7, and then they start climbing it up. They did the same thing with Barca TV Plus. I remember back in the day, it used to be free. I used to watch all the matches on replay. I remember watching the game, and then watching the game the next day again on Barca TV Plus. And then they started charging, I think, £5 a month or whatever it was. I didn't end up paying for it. I mean, I still use the free stuff. You can watch press conferences and the live TV. They'll do the same thing here, for sure. So enjoy it while it lasts. The platform looks great, and hopefully you guys have a blast watching old games and all these documentaries and BarcaOne originals. Now, finally, some of the weirdest and funniest news I saw over the past 24 hours has come in from Fernando Polo from Deportivo, and he came out saying that a few days ago, the team received Macbooks as a reward for defeating Atletico Madrid 1-0 in the first round of La Liga, as promised by the club. However, the players received the gifts, leaving the coaching staff feeling disappointed. What? First of all, why are we promising MacBooks to win a game? You should be winning games no matter what, you bunch of freaking prats. Second of all, why did it take Barcelona, what was it, December, January, February, March, April, almost 5 months to give them the MacBooks? Third of all, why the hell are you not giving the coaching staff MacBooks? They probably need the upgrade. They probably use the MacBook more to help Barcelona out. I really want to know what the club say for the other games. I wonder what they offer the players for the El Clasico and Saudi, the final. Oh, if you guys win this game, you'll all get iPhones, maybe? Like, they really need this incentive. They really need this kind of motivation. I mean, it's whatever. It's just MacBooks. Each one is probably a grand, 20 players. That's like what? 23K. That's quite a bit of money to find from the Barcelona. Anyways, very interesting that the coaching staff is disappointed with that, which, to be honest, I don't really blame them, but again, weird in my opinion that we're offering MacBooks to players to really push and motivate them to win big games, but I guess game is game. Now, the final topic that I wanted to discuss before I end off this video is, of course, in regards to the manager position for the foreseeable future, with Barcelona, of course, begging on their knees for Xavi to stay. It looks like it might be working a little bit. Alex Pentel of Relevo came out saying that there are more and more voices in the club that are betting on the continuation of Xavi. Within the dressing room, there are players who think that Xavi will change his mind and eventually decide to continue. The players see the coach with a very different spirit. He's very motivated and they believe that he has freed himself and taken off the pressure. No shit, Sherlock. He said he's going to leave the club. Of course there's going to be no pressure on him. He's going to feel relieved. Why would he bring that? Why would he stay there and bring that back? This report is very idiotic. Now, Fabrizio Romano has also come out saying the relationship between Laporta and Xavi remains excellent. Laporta is trying every day to convince Xavi to continue. Xavi has asked him for time. He wants to focus on the league and Champions League, and Barcelona will wait for him to decide. Boys, ladies and gentlemen, we don't discriminate. Even ladies out there, I'll tell you for free right now, Xavi's not staying. We can beat Real Madrid in the Champions League final 10-0. He will not stay. So the fact that we're still dwelling on this, very, very annoying. And also the fact that we're seeing the players, oh, he's going to stay. We're hearing reports in the media, oh, we're optimistic. Oh, Xavi might say he's not going to reverse his decision. He's not going to. Anyways, in regards to eventual replacements, in my opinion, for Xavi, the name of Hansi Flick has emerged a lot in the media recently. Tony Klein Martin came out saying that Hansi Flick is crazy about coaching Barcelona. At Barcelona, they already know that Flick is eager to take over the Catalonia bench. The German's enthusiasm is at its peak. He wants to return to coaching as soon as possible, preferably with a big team and, if possible, outside of Germany. Flick was already aware of that possibility, and Barcelona wants to see how the season ends before deciding on the path or another. The club also knows that Flick is willing to wait, although he has interest from other clubs. His priority is to wait until Barcelona board is clear about their roadmap. There also been reports that apparently Hansi Flick is watching Barcelona games, giving his tactical input to Deco, like saying like, oh, I would have done this, this, and this because this, and this, and that would have led to this, this, and that. I don't know, man. Flick is definitely an option for Barcelona. I just think personally for me, it's a downgrade from Xavi, in my opinion. But again, he could be better than Xavi. I could be surprised. If he is appointed, I'd be like, you know what? Is what it is. Let's back him. Let's see how he does. But it wouldn't be an appointment, a managerial appointment that would excite me. And I don't think he's definitely the best option available on the market, in my opinion. I think him appointing Fini Zahavi as his agent was an absolute masterclass by Hansi Flick to give him in a good position for this managerial position. But we'll wait and see. Again, we still remain stand where Barcelona want to convince Xavi. They can convince him all he wants, him and the players as well, trying to convince him. I think in the end, personally, Xavi will leave, but the club feel like it might go down a different route. So that was my reaction to the Barcelona news over the past 48 hours. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure to leave a like, and of course, leave me your thoughts down below in the comments on everything we discussed. The main thing I want first, of course, is your thoughts on the pivot acquisition. Who do you think is right? You think Xavi's right in going for Zubimendi, or Barcelona's right in going for Amadou Onana? Second, your thoughts on Xavi wanting to sign Bernardo Silva this summer, and if Xavi does end up staying, you think signing Bernardo Silva is the correct move. Third, your thoughts on the center back overhaul and the loan players coming back. What would you do with each situation? Who would you sell? Who would you get rid of? Who would you implement in the first team? And finally, your thoughts on keeping both the Joaos. What will be your maximum price to keep both of the players at Barcelona next season? And of course, make sure you guys subscribe down below if you haven't already. And I will see you guys next time on the channel. Take care, and Forza Barca.
Yeah!